right, good evening, everyone. Sorry we're late. Can we all please stand for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, notification of this meeting has been sent to our official newspapers, posted on the Borough website, and notice posted at Borough Hall and filed with the Borough of Dumont. Council members Aponte. Here. Kelly.
Here.
Korolakis.
Here.
LaBarbera. Morel. Here. Petrie had to leave.
All right, so we have one adjustment on the agenda. So we're going to move the mayor's appointment of Special Cannabis Committee to next meeting. So that's going to be moved to next meeting. So can we have a motion to accept agenda as presented?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next up we have a proclamation for the Elks National Youth Week in Dumont, Dumont Elks Lodge 2593.
I asked them to put the air on.
Okay, so we have a proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, Elks National Youth Week in Dumont, May 8th through the 14th, 2025. Whereas the benevolent and protective order of Elks has been designated May 1st through the 7th, 2025 as Elks National Youth Week in honor of America's junior citizens for their accomplishments and give fitting recognition to their services to the community, state, and nation. And whereas the Dumont Elks Lodge number 2593 will sponsor an observance in Dumont during the week of May 8th through the 14th, 2025, in tribute to junior citizens of the community. And whereas no event could be more deserving of our support and participation than one dedicated to these young people who represent the nation's greatest resource, and who in the years ahead will assume responsibility for the advancement of our free society. And whereas our youth need the guidance, inspiration, and encouragement which we alone can give in order to help develop these qualities of character essential for future leadership and to go forth to serve America. And whereas to achieve this worthy objective, we should demonstrate our partnership with youth, our understanding of their hopes and aspirations, and sincere willingness to help prepare them in every way for the responsibilities of the opportunities of citizenship. Now therefore be it resolved that I, John W. Russell III, Mayor of Dumont, do proclaim the week of May 8th through 14th, 2025 as Elks National Youth Week in Dumont, during which time we urge all our departments and government, civic, fraternal, and patriotic groups, and our citizens generally to participate wholeheartedly in observance. It was. Raphael right, next up, we have an oath of office administered to George Harvilla, President of the Dumont Board of Health. Okay, you ready?
I am, sir.
Okay, I, George Harvilla,
I, George Arvilla,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and the governments
and the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially
that I will impartially
and justly perform
and justly perform
all duties
all duties
of the office of
of the office of
President of the Dumont Health Board,
President of the Dumont Health Board,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Guys. Thank you, gentlemen.
Welcome, George. Glad to help. Bye, Rex. Okay, next up, we have approval of minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the March 11, 2025 public meeting minutes?
Second.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Korolakis,
Yes.
LaBarbera, Morel,
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the March 11, 2025 closed session meeting minutes?
Motion.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Korolakis,
Yes.
LaBarbera, Morel,
Okay, now we're going to move on to our committee reports. So I'll start with mine. So first up, we have the Arts and Beautification Economic Development Committee. So veterans banners are starting to be hung up along the parade route before Memorial Day. We have 30 new banners that are being printed now. We just got the proofs back last week, and those are going to be going up as soon as we get them in. The committee is also selling sponsorships for planters in town for the in the business district. They're going to be put around town again. The cost is $35 to sponsor a planter. Planters will have a plaque with the person or the group's name on it. If you want to sponsor a planter, you can reach out to ABED Committee on Facebook or through the borough website. There's also a bunch of other things that they have in the works that are not ready for to be revealed yet, but some pretty fun things. Hopefully we'll get them out there by the street fair, and maybe something else in the fall, and that will be announced soon. Next up, we have Cultural Affairs Committee. You guys have a report on
Want me
that?
to report on cultural affairs?
No, go ahead. Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
All right.
So, you want to finish? And then
Yeah, I'll finish and then you go.
Go ahead.
All right?
Sure.
All right, so I'll let Doreen do that one. Also, Shade Tree Commission. I want to say thanks to all the Shade Tree Commissioners and everyone who attended for another great Arbor Day celebration. It was a very good turnout considering the weather was not ideal. Thank you to Rachel for lending us our tent again. That helped a lot, being out there in the rain. So special thanks to the young ladies who sang the national anthem as well. We had a bunch of school students who sang the national anthem, same ones that were opening day for Little League, and they did a really great job. So thank you to them. And then lastly, I would just like to remind all the council members that they are always to maintain decorum between members of the council and with the residents. As elected officials, we have a higher tolerance of being criticized. We are here to listen to residents' questions and concerns. And that's it for me. We'll move on to Councilwoman Aponte.
Thank you, Mayor Russell. So for Cultural Affairs, this past Saturday, I had the pleasure of assisting and being present at the Asian Pacific Art Show, along with Janine Seek, Mayor Russell, past Councilwoman Carol Stewart, who was on the Cultural Affairs Committee, and Simmerin, who was running, I never remember Simmerin's last name, I'm terrible.
I do, but I don't know if I'll pronounce it right.
Try.
Chakravarti?
Okay.
think.
She did an amazing job gathering some artists from all around Bergen County who focused on Asian and Pacific art and ceramics. There's a beautiful display here in the lobby, and it will remain there for the next month, so feel free to look around. We didn't have as much this year as we did last year. We're also looking for some volunteers for cultural affairs. One of our members is ill right now, and they could use another 2 or 3 people to help with the Cultural Affairs Committee. So please talk to Janine, or if you have Simran's contact, we would greatly appreciate the help for Cultural Affairs. Thank you. I'm next reporting on our courts for April, and I'll go through this quick. Expedited expungements ordered 3, criminal summonses issued 3, criminal warrants issued 1, regular sessions 2, special sessions 0. Trials, hearings, motions, and mediation 2, private citizens' complaints accepted and issue 0, probable cause determinations 0. In-person defendants scheduled for court 29, virtual defendants scheduled for court 43. Online and mail pleas, 4. Change of venues, 1. Bail collected, 3. Registrations and driver's license suspended, 23. And that is it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Kelly?
So I don't have a report for finance. There'll be discussion on various, items with budget and bond ordinance, so I'll leave it at that. For Joint Land Use Board, the April 22nd meeting was canceled for lack of agenda. No applications for that meeting. The next meeting is Tuesday, 5/13 at 7:30 p.m. There are applications on the agenda for that evening. There may also be some discussion on affordable housing, so That's 13th at 7:30 PM. So that concludes my reports.
Thank you, Councilman Kelly. Councilman Korlakis?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This will be a quick report for DPW. Our new superintendent, Mike Cassidy, is settling in quite well, and I think he has a good handle on things. He's been shadowing just about everybody in DPW to see how Dumont runs, and guess what? He's still here, so we must be doing something right. Reminder, we have grass pickup. That's in effect now. Please put your grass clippings and any trimmings from your yard, shrubs, et cetera, into the bins or tie them up. I believe if they're branches, it's 4 feet if they're tied up and not in a bin. We've had a sewer pump failure that's since been remedied. Potholes are being fixed, and a big reminder to the public, if there's potholes and if you want them fixed, feel free to call up DPW. I think they maintain a list. Rebecca is very good at it, and she's very nice and very pleasant to deal with, and she'll put it on the list. And I did it last year in front of my house. They were there the next day, and they fixed it. So hopefully they'll be that responsive for everybody else. Library, I guess the big thing is June 21st, the 100th anniversary for the library, and I think they put a banner up over Washington Avenue advertising that. That's going to be something really big. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss it because I'm going to be in Budapest at that time. Shade Tree, the mayor covered it, and just one or two more things. Recently, someone sent me an email that I forwarded to Shade Tree about a small town tree that looked very, very unhealthy. That person said that they had complained for several years and nothing had been done. Well, I forwarded it to our Shade Tree person, Tanya, and Wayne went out and looked at it, and he confirmed that it has to come down. It's on the list, and it will be down pretty quickly. Those people are fantastic with what they do, and they're really on top of things. That's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Korlakis. All right, so Councilman Morel has nothing. We'll move to our administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a pre-con meeting for our municipal complex sewer remediation project. We are currently finalizing the plans to move our dispatch center over to Fire Company 3. We are hoping to start the week of May 19th. Clean Communities flyer, Rebecca Vasquez, has created a very informative flyer. Please look for it. It's going to be included in this year's tax bill. The plus to that is Clean Communities grant will be covering the postage for our tax mailing. So it's always good when we can have some grant money to cover some expenses for the borough. Our capital bond ordinance will be adopted tonight. The estoppel period will end on June 2nd. Once that occurs, we can begin some of our projects in the borough, including our paving projects, the Riverside Co-op. So we should expect to have the resolution on our June meeting to award that contract. Prospect Avenue paving, we are in the process of setting up a second pre-con meeting. The reason we're requesting this is most of the department heads, since we had our first pre-con meeting, are different. We have a new DPW superintendent, new police chief. So we want to make sure everybody's on the same page, since it's a really big project, involves crossing over 2 major intersections in town and bypassing 2 schools. So I did make it very clear that I want this project to start ASAP, as the road is in dire need of repair, and we want it done by August because we don't want it to interfere with school. And lastly, we had our Memorial Day parade meeting. Bill Brophy, our new recreation director, has really taken the bull by the horns and hit the ground running. He had a meeting with us. He's getting everything prepared for the parade, and we'll be having another meeting in about a week or 2 to finalize those plans. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Janine. Next up is Mr. Rutsch.
Thank you, Mayor. Covering the borough's debt tonight, I spoke with our auditors earlier in the week. They were able to give me a 1-page breakdown of the debt that the town has assumed that you see on the borough's annual debt statement every year. So just a quick breakdown, and I have some specifics here that I can gloss over quickly. So in terms of outstanding bonds, our long-term debt that the borough has assumed, we are total bonds that are outstanding as of 12/31/24, $36,665,000 in outstanding bonds going back to 2016, in which we had ordinances for sanitary sewer repair, supplemental park improvements, acquisition of a fire rescue truck, and then some sewer improvements, some road improvements, and then construction of bridges. Again, these are ordinances that date back 20 years. It was initially a 2010 A bond, which was then refunded and lumped into a 2016 bond. We're paying a little over $4 million off of our 2017 bond, in which we had another storm sewer improvements, various capital improvements, library and senior center handicap access improvements, several park improvements, DPW garage improvements, capital improvements, flood project improvements, Twin Borough field improvements. 2020, we have $13,780,000 in outstanding bonds, the majority of that going into the municipal building project, as well as relocation of borough offices, stormwater improvements, sewer improvements. In 2022, we have $17.7 million in bonds that are outstanding. The majority of it, again, tied into the municipal building with some various capital improvements, stormwater improvements, improvements to Columbia Avenue. So these are ordinances that have been on the docket for the borough over the last 20 years, but they've been condensed and consolidated into refunding bonds for 2016 or for 2010, and then outstanding bonds for 17, 20, and 22, for a total of $36.665 million in outstanding bonds. The borough has loans that are outstanding. We have a 2009 Green Acres loan that has a balance of $41,838, and we have a 2007 and 2010 loan through iBank for a little over $1.6 million. So our total loans are $1.689 million. We then have notes that are outstanding. Ordinances range from $1393 for various capital improvements through $1637, which is the municipal building repair improvements to Prospect Avenue. Now, ordinances 1608 and 1621 were debt that was authorized by the borough and money was borrowed, so therefore the notes were issued. We have a balance of $4 million, which makes up the remainder of the improvements listed on the sheet: capital improvements, relocation of borough offices, a little bit of the municipal building. But this is debt that was authorized by the borough, but the money was never borrowed. So it's classified as debt authorized but not issued. So the gross debt equates to $46,231,200. The borough then has a deduction of $1.012 million. That deduction is the reserve for payment of debt, so any grant money that comes back into the borough where the project has been paid for, the grant money comes in. Instead of the grant money going towards helping with the debt, it goes into a category of the debt called the reserve for payment of debt. So if the grant money comes in after the project has been paid for, it goes into our capital account, which is where it should go, and it goes to the reserve for payment of debt. So all in, as a net debt number as of 12/31/24, $45,218,945. Now, there is a little bit of good news. Had a conversation with our auditor this morning. So our debt service, this is the debt numbers that we run through the operating budget every year. We are going to see a reduction in 2026 by $1.1 million. That is going to be going towards our principal payments. So the payment of bond principal, the interest on the bonds, and then we have an NJEIT loan principal that we are paying through the 25 budget. So the principal debt payment for this year is a little over $3.9 million. We're looking at a principal payment next year of about $2.8 million. So we're going to have a $1.1 million savings that our auditor has stressed that we use to repurpose some of the outstanding debt that we have. So as we get closer, we can have conversation with the finance committee, with our administrator, with our auditor, with our bond counsel, see what the best way to proceed forward is. So definitely some light there that will help us, especially with running the numbers through the operating budget. Speaking of the budget, just a reminder that the public hearing and the adoption and the PowerPoint presentation for the public for our annual budget will be in 2 weeks. And again, just on a side note, just want to thank the Finance Committee and a special thank you to our administrator, Janine, who was a tremendous force in getting the budget done and getting the budget done timely. Her guidance, her efforts, and the help that she provided myself and my department, as well as the department heads, keeping everyone in line and assisting me. Being a part-time CFO, I'm not there every day, all day. So having her in that position to help us through this was a tremendous asset. And in terms of what the budget process was in '24 to where we were for this year, night and day. I was never so happy to come to work on a Saturday morning. But having Janine there to help us through it was outstanding. And as much as the credit can go to the finance department, it also equally, if not greater, should go to Janine as well. Because I may have been the co-pilot, but we knew who the pilot was. And she kept everybody in line. So thank you to her for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Rutsch. We're going to move on to our engineer report.
Thank you, Mayor. Hard to follow that one up. Can you hear me? I'll be reporting, instead of Pete today, he's on a well-deserved family vacation. So I have a couple of items to report on. The first is the Berkeley Park Pickleball Court. That project was completed last year, but we held on to retainage because the contractor needs to redo the acrylic surface on top. So now that the weather is warmer, we're just waiting for a dry spell, and we'll make sure that the contractor does that work correctly. Next, moving on, we have the flood damage protection ordinance. This is something that is required by the NJDEP in order to stay in compliance with the National Flood Insurance Program regulations. And so we've sent the draft ordinance and incorporated NJDEP's comments. And this ordinance just needs to be adopted by June, and we're on schedule for that. So that is moving along well. We're also mapping the borough stormwater system assets as required by the NJDEP as well. Next, Janine already covered the improvements to Prospect Avenue and the progress on the municipal building sewer remediation project, so I won't repeat her. And moving on, PSC&G has been replacing gas mains throughout town. They gave me an update today. They estimate that the main crews that are working in the road should be finished this month, we hope. And then the service crews will remain into the summer in order to continue the service hookups. But hopefully that work will be winding down this month. And lastly, we have the community rating system recertification. This is in order to stay in compliance with the NFIP as well, the National Flood Insurance Program. Dumont is currently classified as a Class 9 community, and that confers a 5% discount to all homeowners in Dumont that are insured by the NFIP. So we want to make sure we get the recertification paperwork in to maintain that discount for the residents of Dumont. And that concludes my report. Good. Yeah. Yeah. They're going to redo the acrylic surface on top, yes.
How long is that take to cure? How long before that can shut down? Make sure
I think it's about a week or two, but I'll find out and come back to you with that. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do. Okay.
And just if I could ask also on the on some of the PSC&G work,
Yes.
particularly like Andover, I think it was Brookfield,
Right.
Wareham. directly connected to their trench repair. I know it's a temporary patch, and I know the road work's going to be done, but there are some damage to the road
Okay.
adjacent to their trench, which, you know, it seems like it was definitely part of the process of when they cut through. I know the town did some patching of stuff that wasn't related to their trench, but there's still, on Andover Avenue, there's still a number of areas where they patched the trench itself, but not the damaged asphalt on either side of the trench. So
Okay.
in some cases, there's substantial, you know, holes in the road related to the work that they did. So
Okay.
I don't know how many months out. We're still probably a good number of months out from the actual repaving there. So if we could maybe get them to address some of those,
Okay.
that would be
Okay.
helpful.
I'll speak to them. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, and last up, we have Attorney Geist.
Thank you. First of all, I apologize for not being at the last meeting. It was the first one I missed in 2.5 years of doing this. I had a pre-planned family vacation from before the agendas were released for the year. It was a spring break in my town, so the timing didn't work out, but I don't plan on missing any more. The closed session agenda, as you can see, is real busy. And I'll make the announcement now that we have to go back in the closed when the meeting's over, because we didn't get through it all. And I don't think we're planning any extra formal action after that, but we do have to continue the closed session agenda. The Centrilla litigation has another court date, May 9th. Hopefully that's going to come to a resolution soon, and even though the list is busy, we really are closing up a lot of these matters. It should be shorter soon. A lot of these issues are near a resolution. But that's really it that I can get into, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared. All right, next up is our resolutions.
All items with an asterisk are considered to be non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There may be further discussion prior to the vote upon request of a council member or member of the public. Also, any item may be removed for further discussion or roll call vote, in which case the item will be removed and considered in its normal sequence as part of the general order of business. Resolutions 25-140, bills list. 141, approval of Ranger Road block party. 142, approval of Seneca Avenue block party. 143, refund of filming permit security bond. 144, approval of Twin Borough field lights to remain on until 10:30 p.m. 145, hire Juliana Lisa as summer camp director. 146, hire Jennifer Gandolfo as assistant summer camp director. 147, authorize advertisement of bids solid waste and recycling collection. 148, refund building department escrow fees. And 149, resignation of Carolyn Blakeman from rent leveling board.
Thank you, Janine. Do we have any comments from the council?
I do. Can I ask Janine real quick in regards to Twin Borough? Who requested the lights to stay on until 10:30?
This is something that we do every year because they have a league over there to keep the lights on. There's leagues that play. I think it's the men's softball league. So we keep it on until July,
Okay.
until 10:30. It just puts it on for an extra half an hour. Memorial and Twin Borough are the only two fields via ordinance that stay on until 10 p.m. So they ask that Twin Borough Field Lights Recreation asks that they stay until 10:30 for
You
the
haven't
week.
had any complaints from the senior
Not at
housing
Twin
or?
Borough,
Okay,
no.
just, thank you.
Just also on that resolution, the ordinance does call for explicit permission from police and borough administrator, so if we could just make sure that that's complied.
Yes, of course.
All right, so seeing no more comments, can we have a motion to open to the public on consent agenda items?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we're open on consent agenda items.
Hello, Joan Struble. I have a question about the refund for the filming permit. Was that when Gordon Ramsay was filming the pizza parlor? The security bond, is that what that was for?
The filming permit, no, this was over on, DeLong. It was, just a few weeks ago, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did like a short film. It was for one night, and they had to, as per our ordinance, they have to put down, a security bond.
Okay. All right. The bid for solid waste, our contract is up with garbage and recycling?
It is up on November 1st.
November
We're trying to
1st.
get ahead of it,
Okay.
because last time, 5 years ago, we only had one bid.
Right.
So I'm in the process of working on the bid specs, and we will now that I have authorization, I can advertise. It'll give us time to advertise for a good amount of time, hopefully get some competitive bidding,
Okay.
and then the governing body can make a decision from there.
On that, do we pay the dump bill or does the collector pay it?
The tipping,
No, well, yeah,
it's all included in that,
In-
in the cost of our contract.
okay, so they would pay it,
Yes.
okay. All right, because I was wondering, and they don't have to put up a bond, beforehand?
I would have to look into that, but I think there's a performance bond.
Yeah, I thought so, that's, yeah. Okay, was it like a mill?
I don't know for sure. I can let you know, though.
Okay. All right. That was it. Thank you very much.
Okay, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Motion.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Korolakis,
Yes.
Morel.
We're gonna add a resolution.
We're going to introduce a resolution for the healthcare reimbursement account for the borough employees, everybody, that works for the borough, their healthcare. It's a great thing that's going to save the borough a ton of money, and we'll let Jared explain it, so this way if you have any questions, you could ask him, okay?
Just because someone has to make a motion
in a
second.
Well, Bashar will make a motion. But if you want to explain it to the people first?
Sure. So there was a closed session discussion, tonight's agenda, and the borough administrator had prepared a resolution if there was a consensus to move this forward. The resolution is going to have language that it would only be effective upon a memorandum of understanding from the unions, the PBA union and the DPW unions, because we need their agreement in order for this to become official. But what happens is there's a 60-day period for the state to approve this, And in order for it to go to in effect in advance of the next enrollment period, by passing this tonight, if we get the memorandum of understandings between the unions, we can meet the deadline to get the state to approve it before the next enrollment period. So this is one out of 3 steps for this to move forward. It doesn't change, it doesn't move forward just by the council approving this tonight without the agreement of the PBA and the DPW union. So I just want to make that clear that it's not anything being forced upon anybody, that the unions still have to approve it. I can read it, and then if there's anything that anyone wants to add, they can feel free to add. But it's Resolution 150.
Jared, could you just speak closer to the microphone?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jared, I can let them see this, right?
What's it? Yeah, sure. Resolution 150, whereas employees and their eligible dependents will be entitled to enroll in any of the medical plans offered under SHBP, prescription drug coverage will be offered to all employees and eligible dependents through the SHBP, whereas beginning with the effective date of a special open enrollment period occurring in the calendar year 2025, the NJ Direct PPO plan NJD 2035 will become the baseline PPO plan for all employees. Employees enrolling in the NJDD 2035 plan will be responsible for paying contributions based on the Chapter 78 contribution rates. Whereas the Borough agrees to provide employees enrolling in the NJD 2035 who are previously enrolled in the NJ Direct 10, NJ Direct 15, or 2030 plan with a health reimbursement program for 2025. The purpose of this program is to deliver benefits at a level equivalent to the NJ 10 Direct plan. Whereas the Borough will fund the HRA account for $7,360 for each individual employee and $14,720 for all other tiers of coverage. This account can be used by the employee to pay the difference in employee out-of-pocket expenses between NJD 2035 and NJ Direct 10, including copays, deductibles, co-insurance, prescription costs, and all other out-of-pocket expenses that would not have been incurred under the NJ Direct 10 plan for employees and their dependents. Whereas the HRA program shall be administered through a debit card called the Difference Card, provided by the Borough, and employees shall not contribute toward the cost of the HRA program. Whereas the Difference Card can provide the benefit management of an HRA program for the 2025 benefit year. Whereas this resolution is contingent upon receiving the memorandum of understanding agreements between the borough's unions, both the PBA and the DPW. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Dumont to fund an HRA for these employees enrolled in the NJD 2035 plan and to contract with the Difference Card to provide the management of this program. The implementation of this resolution is conditioned upon the Borough entering into a contract with the Difference Card. Be it further resolved, copies of this resolution shall be provided to NJ State Health Benefits Plan, Cheney Financial LLC, the Difference Card, the CFO, the finance, and the auditor. And like I said, the unions have to approve it, and then the state has to approve it. So this is just one of 3 steps that has to happen for this to go forward. There was a presentation, and anyone can add comments on there. There was a significant cost saving to the borough without any impact on the coverage to the employees.
So basically, the borough could almost save $300,000 a year by going into this program. But the unions have to agree to it. But this is the first step.
Yep, and the hope is that everybody opts in
Yep.
sooner than later.
Yep.
Just to give a little bit more background, so we've met with them multiple times. Cheney Financial and the Difference Card have come in. They've met with both of the borough's unions, both DPW and PBA, as well as the borough employees, given presentations on all of the benefits. The employees have had opportunities to ask any questions that they have. This is also voluntary, even if the borough moves forward with this. No employees are going to be forced to take this. They can stay in their NJ Direct 10 program. As it was mentioned, it could be a huge cost savings to the borough. If all employees ended up going into this, we'd be looking at a $300,000 savings just to the borough. That includes all fees that are associated with us moving over, both with the Difference Card and Cheney Financial. who is the broker that is implementing this for us. On top of that, it is also a financial savings to the employees. The amount that comes out of an employee's paycheck, the premium amount will be lowered for the employee on a biweekly basis, and the difference card will cover the amount of any co-pays, co-insurance, and deductibles that an employee would have to pay. So there's kind of a twofold savings for the employees as well.
All right, so can I have a motion to open to the public in case they have any questions on this?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi, Mary Ann Rossini. Is this just medical, not dental or eyewear and stuff, just medical?
So the
For
way our healthcare works right now is we don't have dental through state health benefit plan. The borough pays for Delta Dental separately.
Okay,
So this only covers our medical and our RX prescription.
okay. The other question is, whereas the borough will fund the HRA account for $73.60 for each individual, there's something in here, looking at it really quick, not just the employee, but family members can join this also, right? Like they could do a family
Yes.
thing, right?
Same
So
as-
is that 7,300, it just says for individual employees, so what card does the family member get?
It's almost, have you heard of a flexible spending account?
Yeah,
So it's kind of like that, except there's no money per employee. It's all in one pool.
Okay.
The HRA is one big pool. Those amounts that are in this resolution are what the state health benefit plan told the borough we are required to put into that pool of money per family plan or per individual plan that we have. So
So-
that's the required amount per employee that we have to put aside.
okay, so the 7360 is for one
If someone's on
person?
an individual plan.
Right. So if the employee had, it's husband, wife, and 2 kids, they still only get 7360?
Then
Then they go to the
14,000, that's the
14.
family plan.
So they get 14 and not the set, it's not a both of 7 and
No,
14?
no.
It's, they get to that
Well,
next
either
year?
or, yeah.
Right,
And
okay.
you have to remember, that's not, it's not like that money's loaded on a card for them. It's just, it's one account.
Okay,
That's just an amount that the state gave us that we have to allocate per employee.
okay. Yeah, I just didn't understand what the other tier of coverage, and I was like, okay. No, hopefully it's a win for the employee. I mean, it's great that it'll be a win for the borough, but, I mean, if it helps the employee, that's the main thing. So, thank you, whoever investigated this, thank you. Because you know how I always ask who brings it up, but thank you.
Hi, Mary Normoyle. I'm just piggybacking off of Mary Ann. I just want to know who is present. You said we met with the union leaders or something. Who's we?
So we had representatives from Cheney Financial, representatives from the difference card, and then I was there. I was present for the DPW presentation, as well as Jody Delahanty, who was our payroll and benefits specialist. And then we were here for the presentation for the staff as well. The PBA had their own presentation.
So it was just you and Jody present? No council members? No other staff?
They've also received the information as well, though.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
but they were
Yeah,
not
yes, yes.
present?
Not at the union, no.
Okay,
That was for employees.
okay.
But we actually did, Janine, myself, Chris Rutch, Jody, and the same people, Cheney Financial, the difference card. We actually did a conference call in the beginning about this when it was first brought to our attention. And then we just kept bringing it on to all the other, to the unions. The unions is the most important thing, is to get them on board, because that's the biggest, people who, the biggest people who usually don't want to do it.
Yeah, so we got the information first, and then once we decided that it would be beneficial to the borough to entertain this, then they recommended meeting with the employees and the unions to give them a presentation, answer any questions they might have. Sometimes change is scary, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt Resolution 150?
Second.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Abstain?
Korolakis,
Yes.
Morel.
Yes.
All right, next up, we're going to move to our ordinances. So we have second reading of ordinance number 1651, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new additional or replacement equipment or machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, new information technology equipment, new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment, in, by, and for the Borough of Dumont in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $2,129,000, pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide the issuance of bond anticipation notes in the anticipation of issuance of such bonds. Can I have a motion to waive the formal reading?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have any discussions from the council? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
Okay, my name is Bruce D. Lyon. I'd like to thank Mr. Rutsch for sharing some information prior on our status of where we are in terms of bonding. It's good to know we're a little bit below $46 million, and it looks like we'll be able to pick up a million and change for, pay down next year, which is great. Now, looking at this bond ordinance, I have no particular problem with it other than a question. The base amount is $2,129,000. Now, I've worked with bond counsels in my previous employment, and one of the questions that my Board of Education or myself or both of us always ask of the attorney, what is the projected cost of this project, of these projects? Now, we have $2,129,000. I know you don't have a crystal ball, but if this goes out at 6%, 5%, 7%, 4%, the numbers always will vary. And I know it's a dribble down period. You might not do it all at once, but in order to get the money, is there a projected cost as to what this bond issue may cost us overall when we pay the principal, when we pay the interest? Just looking ahead in my own mind, I might be right or wrong. I would tend to think that this would again push us over $50 million in the long run. So is there any potential number on what we may be paying?
I could speak to our bond counsel in the morning and get an understanding. I mean, the way it was explained is that, you probably know that, authorizing the debt until we actually give out the contracts and start to borrow the money, then we can project as to what we would owe in the future. I think the last we spoke, the interest rate percentage was about 4.5%, but I'll confirm that.
Okay, that's a reasonable request, because with the state of our economy in the United States, things could have changed from the time that we sat down in this room, because the president with these tariffs and whatnot, everything is different. So it's a matter of when you open the newspaper or when you open the internet. So thank you for your investigation. I appreciate that.
Okay, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt on the second reading?
Motion.
Second.
Council members Ponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Horolakis.
Yes.
Morel.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we have second reading of bond, ordinance number 1652, ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement ordinances number 1593 and 1649, and its progenies as to the establishment of certain compensation ranges and related items for certain officers and employees. Can I have a motion to waive the formal reading?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have any discussion from the council? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If you could just, in 1652, what was number 1649?
1649 is the original salary ordinance that we introduced.
Oh, okay.
So it's just notating that, because one thing that I can't stand is when we have a salary ordinance and it doesn't go back and mention which ordinances it's amending.
Okay.
So that's why we included the last two.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, seeing no one else, are you coming up, Marion? All right, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt on the second reading?
Motion.
Second.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Horolakis.
Yes.
Morel.
Yes.
Okay, now we have second reading of ordinance number 1653, ordinance to amend Chapter 182-2 of the Dumont Borough Code, providing for updates to construction code fees. Can I have a motion to waive the formal reading?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion from the council?
And I wasn't here last time, but just for the benefit, these were all recommended, either increases or additions to fees that didn't exist before. For example, electric vehicle charges, things of that nature that were all recommended, by our code enforcement, by Mr. Sharrow. It was all discussed, at multiple ordinance committee meetings. The ordinance has to include all of the fees, so it's a little lengthy, but only the ones in bold are being changed or added. So if it's not in bold in the ordinance, it's not being changed. But the way it works is we have to put the whole ordinance word for word. That's why it's a little lengthy. So it's just to bring it up to date with other towns in the area, and that's really the intent. If there's any other questions, I can answer them.
Okay, can I have a motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, seeing no one, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to adopt on the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Korolakis.
Yes.
Morel.
Yes.
Okay, now this is our last ordinance. This is a first reading of number 1654, ordinance to amend, revise, supplement ordinances numbers 1593 and 1649, and its progenies as the establishment of certain compensation ranges and related items for certain officers and employees, assistant summer camp director. Can I have a motion to waive the formal reading?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion from the council on this?
Mayor, I can explain this ordinance. So we had an assistant camp director position. It was paid hourly. We felt it was beneficial to make this a salaried position, as it comes with the territory that the position works pre-camp, during camp, and post-camp. In discussions with our recreation director, we decided to do a salaried position. So this is just creating this position at a salaried rate instead of hourly.
Thank you, Janine. Can I have no, we don't open in public. So, can I have a motion to pass on the first reading?
Second.
Council members Aponte,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Korolakis.
Yes.
Morel.
Yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to open to the public for general comments?
So moved. Second.
All right, we're open to the public for general comments.
Bill Linder. I'm not here to propose what to do with the cannabis that we're talking about the last couple of meetings, but I did do a little research that I wanted to bring to light because some of the numbers that were thrown, I was a little bit concerned about some of the numbers I heard, especially about Rochelle Park, you know, with a $700,000 revenue that, you know, came out. It seemed high to me, to be honest with you, because that's like $35 million in sales of cannabis in Rochelle Park at the 2% number. So I did a little research and I found out that I was surprised that they actually did $676,000. It wasn't $700,000, okay? But the one thing that did surprise me is that from the first quarter to the last quarter of last year, their revenue dropped 25% in a year, which is a lot. Think about it, okay? So I don't know when they opened the actual facility, okay? But, you know, a 25% drop over a 12-month period is a lot, okay? And, you know, the thing is, you know, at $700,000, they're talking about $35 million in sales at your 2% tax rate, which is a lot, okay? And then we're only talking about $150,000. But if you think about, you know, the average sale, the average daily sale, or the average even sale to an individual, we're talking about a lot of people coming in and out. And if you look at the dispensaries that are in Bergen County, most of them are on highways. They're on Route 4, 46, 17. You don't really see them in the middle of town somewhere, okay, in a residential area. There may be a couple that, you know, that are close, but they're not sitting in the middle of a town. I also, you know, I've tried to do some research on where they can go. I know they cannot be within 1,000 feet of a school or anything to do with schools, okay? I'm not really sure exactly. I haven't been able to finish my research on it, on churches and other things. I couldn't find all the details I wanted. So it's my concern about where to put it in town. And even, you know, even if you put it somewhere, where are people going to park? With the number of vehicles they're going to be coming, if we, even at $150,000, which is what, $2 million in sales or something like annually that we're predicting, okay? I mean, it's a lot of people because the average sale in these places is not that high. The average sale, for individual coming to buy, is between $50 and $100, okay? So if you're going to be doing, I don't know, $10,000 a day, that's a lot of people and a lot of cars that are coming into our town. And it's just my concern about that. Forget about whether we're selling cannabis or not, okay? It's what's going to happen when we start doing that, okay? And how it's going to affect our town and how, you know, what our costs going to be on police or whatever is going to happen. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention because, you know, I think, you know, there should be a little bit more research done. I mean, I was able to find out from Rochelle Park in 2 days what they did. I don't know what anybody here has done to do any research about what the numbers really are, except for some guy that showed up and said, hey, it's $700,000 to Rochelle Park, and we're getting $150,000. That's all I heard so far. I mean, in 2 days, I could get the information from Rochelle Park. If I spend 2 more days, I could probably get the other 17 through Oprah's, okay? It's not that hard. The other thing is, there seems to be a reluctance to do a referendum and talk to the people in the town, okay? I'll give you a little history I had. I was involved 20 or so years ago with the Board of Ed when they were going through an issue. They were going to put out a bond, so to speak, to fix the schools and rebuild the fields in town for the high school field. Okay, the superintendent at the time chose to break up the two bonds, and he had to vote. He had to vote for one or the other. The schools got passed, the 5 schools. I don't know how many millions of dollars it was, but the field one got voted down by the people, okay? So it didn't go through. And I was on one of the committees, and I went back to the superintendent. I said, God, you know, this is really, we're sitting here with a 1960s field that's mud. We had a cinder track from the, you know, that nobody could even, it was condemned. They couldn't even use it, all right? And I said, what can we do to get this passed? And he said, you know, if you want to try, do it. Go to the Board of Ed and talk. So I did. And he said, forget it. The people voted it down. We're not going to do it. So I went back to the superintendent. What else can we do? He says, why don't we do this? Why don't we put a survey out on our website and see what the people have to say? You know, forget about the vote. Just go out to the people. So what they did, it was a very simple survey. It costs you almost nothing to do. I'm sure we could do it on our website, okay, on our town website. Say, what do the people, forget about a referendum, you know, going out and doing all that and all the money you spent on the referendum. A simple survey on our town website, and you can even, the people that are for it can say, hey, this is why we want to do it. We're going to make $150,000 or $200,000. You can say whatever you want, but see what the people have to say. It's a simple survey. You can do it. What happened, we did that survey, and guess what? 70% of the people said, we want the field, okay, after they had voted it down. And so what happened is I brought that back to the Board of Ed, and the Board of Ed said, okay, work on it. So I did. I worked on it they gave me an engineer to work with. I went out and promoted it, and actually, in fact, I helped design the field, and we saved $1 million on the cost of the field by redesigning it. We went out to a vote, and the vote came out the highest yes vote ever in a bond for the school, okay? And I'm very proud of that we did that. But, you know, when it comes to the cannabis thing, it could be the other way around. It could be yes, it could be no. But I think the people of this town deserve to have a voice, okay? And whether it's a referendum, which I know is going to cost money to do, or a simple survey, just so you guys know what the people are thinking. And that's just my thoughts on it, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Linder. I agree 100%.
Sorry, Mary Ann Rossini. Not sure if I missed it or if I didn't hear it. John, you did a vote for 150, but did you vote on all the other ones from 140 to 149? Yes. So I missed it. Okay. Okay. All right. I only heard the the 150. So, okay. Okay. So, here are my questions that I thought of. So we were told that the ordinance committee met with the Cambias attorney in 2024. Donnie, you were the chair of the ordinance in 2024. So did you present any of findings that you did, or did you give a report to the mayor, or, you know? Okay. So but you did meet with. Can because I'm sorry.
Ron came into one of our meetings last year and explained everything, basically, if we wanted to move forward, what you would have to do to find out, and basically at that time, we decided not to move forward with it at that time.
Okay, Ronnie is the attorney that we just...
Yeah, we met him down at the league, and it was something that we thought we might want to explore, but we had so many other issues with the Borough Hall that we said, let's just push this aside until next year, and that's what we did.
And he met with the ordinance committee, and the current, or the former borough administrator was there also.
Yeah.
Okay, but not the sitting mayor and the other council, just...
No, not mayor and council as a whole. That would have had to have been, I guess, a council meeting or a closed session.
Okay.
Didn't he come in closed session? I thought he came in closed session, no?
He came into the open, not
The open he came in, not the closed session? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I guess you answered part of it. So, because who referred this attorney? Did he just walk up to you at this meeting and say, "Hey, I'm an attorney. You want to open a store?" I mean,
we met him down at the league, and we went to, they have a meeting there. It was 400 people at it, and we just took his card, and they said he was the best at it. So.
But you didn't invest any other attorney, you just went with this one guy?
Correct. We didn't talk to no other attorney about it.
I wasn't involved in this meeting last year, but I can say this year there was a conference call with the Rochelle Park Borough Administrator, our Borough Administrator, and I forget who else was on the call, but the Rochelle Park Borough Administrator recommended him because he was their attorney, so at least there was a recommendation at that point from him. But I wasn't involved in the meeting last year.
And if I can just mention, last year, and I forget who exactly, but at least 2 other potential cannabis attorneys were mentioned. And after we met with Ron, we decided not to pursue it. So we did not reach out to the other attorneys to get their opinion on the best way to proceed, because we weren't moving forward at that time. And I forget, I don't know if you were there, Janine, but I know at least 2 others were mentioned.
Okay. All right, so what other towns does he represent?
I'd have to look at his presentation. It's something like at least a dozen, maybe 2 dozen towns that he's been working with.
It's an important issue. Well,
I want to say it was in the 20s, like in that range.
I'm sorry?
I want to say it was in the 20s.
I don't care the number. I want to know the towns. I think you guys should come with a list of his background, have his resume or something, so if somebody asks a question, you know, I don't have to go Google it. I should be able to come to you, so.
If you want, we can invite him back. That's not for me to decide.
No,
The mayor could
we
do that.
shouldn't have to invite him back. That should have been part of the research. The research on this guy, that we are just spending our taxpayers' money, and you're hiring this guy, you should know what towns he represents.
Well, you could have asked him when he was here also.
So you're throwing it back on me, Chris?
No, I'm
You're
just
throwing
sa-
it back on me?
No, I'm just saying that he was here to answer questions, and that question was not asked. We can find out, we can give you that information, and we haven't actually decided whether we're moving forward or not yet.
You just voted last meeting to spend up to $9,000. Well, no, $5,000, because you said you were going to foot $4. So
we
the
voted-
taxpayers are only going to fit $5.
What we voted for last time around
Yep.
was to research whether it makes sense to move forward or not, and we felt that he would be a good person to guide us through those waters.
Right.
So we didn't vote to proceed with opening anything.
No, I understand. No, but you voted, okay, so here's the thing. You call him back, and then he sits here, and you've got 150 residents back here to come and ask him questions. How much is he going to charge us to do?
That's
To
what
answer.
we did last time. He gave a freebie, and yes,
Right.
we can get the answers for you. We're not saying we won't.
No, but he's going to charge you. He's going to charge us every time you ask a question, isn't he? I mean, when you call him up, isn't he going to say, "Oh, I talked to Chris for half an hour. I'm going to write it down. I talked to Donnie for an hour. I'm going to write it down."
How else can we get you the answer you want?
No, but that should have been before you hired him. You should have had a list of, you know, what other towns he represented.
I don't have the
It's like a
exhaustive list,
resume.
but we do have a list on his presentation of probably a subset. And we can get that information. I think we could get it for free also.
Yeah. Well, you should have a resume of him. He should have given you a resume. You should have interviewed him just like you interview an employee. So, because at least the list of the towns, you can see what they're, like Mr. Linder said, you know, Rochelle Park, if he did Rochelle Park, or if he did, you know, another town, and that other town, you know, was supposed to make $100,000, and they're only coming in with 20. I mean, so you didn't reach out to any, and then you couldn't, I guess you didn't reach out to any other towns. Did you reach out to any other towns that he represents?
There was a discussion with Rochelle Park. I can't speak of other conversations because I wasn't a part of it, but I was called into a call with Rochelle Park where there was a lengthy discussion. But that's the only one I can speak to.
Okay. I'm going to stop asking questions on that little sticky because I'm not getting anywhere. So,
Marianne, I just brought up his presentation. In his presentation, it says Jersey City, Hoboken, Atlantic City, Oakland, Asbury Park, Borough of Heightstown, Maywood, Carlstadt, Reddington Township, Rochelle Park, New Brunswick, Teaneck, Pequannock Township, Harrison, East Rutherford, Fairfield Township of Egg Harbor, Maple Shade. Those are the ones that were listed on his presentation.
okay. And those are pretty big towns. We are a small town. So, but, okay, so I guess my next question is, what's the percentage of the retail dispensaries that are profitable? Does anybody know that answer? So what's the percentage of the retail dispensaries that are profitable? Okay, I did a little Google search. So July 2024 stats, 27.27 was profitable. 40% just broke even, and 32.27% lost money. So, and that's 2024. And then if you have all these other towns opening it up, and to Mr. Linder's point, you know, they're basically on the highway with big signs on 17 and everything, drive-throughs and stuff like that. And to Bill's point, you know, if you're going to have all of the, you know, and it's, you know what, if they open it and it's profitable and it makes money, whatever, but if there's no parking now in the town, what is it going to do for the other businesses in town? If everybody's going to come in, the amount of numbers that for these people to make some money, for this company to make some money. I mean, if you let's just throw it out there. You put them on Madison Avenue. What happens to the barbershop, the nail salon, you know, the tax guy, you know, right there? And there's no parking now. I mean, my understanding was the town didn't approve a chicken place on the store across the street that's still empty. That was Bright Pharmacy. They wanted a chicken sandwich place, and the town, and this is only rumor, this is what I heard, said no because there's no parking. So, and that was a food place. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. And that's why it's still empty, I guess, because nobody else, you know, went there. But, I mean, you know, our economic part of our town is getting killed, you know. I mean, they're all empty. And for Veterans Plaza, the only reason I think they do good over there is because they got CVS parking. The other places on Washington and Madison does not. So, I mean, that's something you need to consider and look at the other businesses that are going to be affected on that. So, and plus, every building that's going up, we're putting apartments up there. So now you're going to have residents jockeying for those parking spots too in front of these businesses. So, so now, Chris, in any of your research, did you do a comparison? Because I know I asked last time with the wholesale, you know, just to grow it, compare it to retail. Is there any other information? Did anybody look into that?
I didn't look in depth. In just casual discussions, we don't think growing, which is what I think Bergenfield is doing, would be suitable because we simply don't have the square footage. What we did discuss is possibly manufacturing. And again, this is from Ron's presentation. Manufacturing seems to be as profitable, if not more profitable, than the dispensary. And obviously, you wouldn't get the foot traffic or require foot traffic or for that matter, the vehicular traffic. The question for that would be if people were in favor of that, do we have, let's say, the empty, I'll call it warehouse space for something like that? But it would also be heavily regulated. And again, we're not moving forward. We haven't decided to move forward. We've had casual conversations about pluses and minuses, mostly based on Ron's presentation and just, as you said, some Google searches. We need to have more discussions. And, you know, I think that's our plan, and I'll turn it over to the mayor if you agree we need to discuss further how to move forward with this.
Yeah.
We haven't had any discussions about it.
But honestly, I love Bill Linder's, you know, suggestion on a survey. I mean, it should not cost anything. You know, you can type up a survey type of thing and put it out on the website, and not social media, you know, because you get social media. And you know what? They should be a resident of the town. You know, they shouldn't be, you know, people who have lived here 20 years ago or whatever. I mean, that's my personal opinion, you know, because I'll be honest with you, if I was sitting in one of those chairs, where you guys are, I would not want to make this type of decision. I would want the residents to do it. 6 people making a decision, and yes, you were voted on by the people, totally understand that, but I don't know if you would be voted on again and win if that was part of your agenda, and knowing that. And I'm not saying that it was hidden when you ran or whatever, but I really think strongly you should let the residents decide this. And again, a survey, putting it out there would only cost a couple of bucks for the borough attorney to write it up, and it'll be a lot cheaper probably than a referendum. So, anybody have any questions for me? No.
No questions. No questions, Mary Ann, but I did just want to address, so you mentioned the chicken place that was turned down. So there were, parking wasn't the only issue there.
Okay.
And it was actually, the application was initially turned down. There were other concerns, one of them including they had no place to put their trash. Literally, no place. It was going to be stored in the basement under their plan.
Right.
Until, garbage pickup day. So there was a large vent fan that would protrude out over the public sidewalk on Park Avenue. There were a number of different concerns.
Right.
Ultimately, the applicant appealed the decision, and it was Dumont's decision was overturned. So they were granted permission to open the business and did not. So
Okay.
that's just to clear up any, so people understand that. But I understand your concern. Parking is a concern, especially when the volume for that one business might be expected to be higher, and that is one of the concerns that the board had at that time. In terms of the survey, I'm all in favor of getting as much feedback as possible. I do. I would have the similar concerns about, that it can't be, just like a Google survey where, we can't verify how many times people would weigh in or if they are actually residents of the town. The public referendum by way of election day, you can have that, and you can assure that, Dumont voters are weighing in. They're non-binding, but there's less cost involved if it's not a special election, like outside of our general election time. So there are some costs associated with putting a question on the ballot in November, but it's not as costly as a special one. And then just to speak to some of the issues that you brought up regarding the hiring of the cannabis attorney, Mondello. I voted no because I shared the same concerns about it. My understanding is that the proposal was to see us through an ordinance that would allow the sale, manufacture, or growing of cannabis, not to research it. I think the research could be done on our end, a lot more exhaustive, and in some cases using the consultation of a professional. But the proposal and the cost that was presented, it was my understanding that that was for the ordinance, which I did not feel we were ready for. I do agree with what everybody mentioned, more research, and I would love to hear more from the public about where they stand on this. I think there's, there could be possibilities, but there are concerns, and so I welcome, any efforts to do more investigation. Maybe clarify what we actually approved with the proposal by the attorney. Is it research, or is it to craft an ordinance? Because there is currently an ordinance that bans the sale, manufacture, or growing of cannabis. So just wanted to clarify on my end.
Okay, thanks. And thanks for clarifying the restaurant or whatever. I mean, again, that's what I heard, so I'm just throwing it out there. Sorry. Thanks.
My name is Bruce D. Lyon. I'm speaking on the same issue. I'd like to frame out what the issue is. I came to several meetings over the past cycle of your meetings, and from what I heard tonight, my understanding is that the ordinance committee in 2024 sort of worked on their own, met with this attorney, developed some type of proposal, and never shared it with anyone. Now, to me, as the mayor, I think you deserve to be informed of everything that goes on, even if it's just a quick email or a text or however you like to communicate. Just by being in that seat, you deserve the courtesy of being informed. Now, my next question, I had requested something from Janine, and she was very good about sending it to me. She's very capable, and she responds quickly. But I'm under the impression that this ordinance committee brought in a resolution several meetings ago that no one had seen, including you, the borough administrator, Doreen, and Tom. And you put it up for a vote. Now, to me, again, I have experience in the public sector. And the only people who should be calling attorneys are the borough administrator, the mayor on occasion, and or the district or borough attorney. And only under your permission should you allow someone else to contact an attorney. Because attorneys do not work for free. School board attorneys are probably, when I was in the business, they were making $175 an hour. I would imagine they're probably $250,000, $300,000. You know, or I'm sorry, $250,000, $300 an hour, a basic attorney, maybe more. So if you get an unknown council person, mayor, calling an attorney, and Janine gets a bill for $700, how do you do that? And then to me, the other question is, how could a subcommittee take these actions on their own, not bring their own people in, and then get angered when it doesn't pass, or there's confusion, or there's questions? Whoever put this together needs their head examined. The way it was handled, I know it's not your fault, because I know you said yourself you saw it that night. And to me, the borough administrator, she deserves the respect that you do. She should have had that resolution. She should have been able to forward it to the various people on your committees, on your council, and do it above board. The way this was brought in, I mean, it's ridiculous. And as Mary Ann said, you're looking at huge communities, Asbury Park, Jersey City, whatever the other ones were. These are not Dumonts. And if you look at the 1,000-foot rule, I don't know where you stand in terms of the schools, but the way your schools are situated, you have like almost a perfect setup of schools. The Board of Education, years ago, when they bought properties, because you have them in the corners, you have the high schools in the center. So you lucked out very well. But again, because of the size of the community, that 1,000 feet goes pretty quick. I worked in Maywood. I was in Maywood for 14 years, and we had all kinds of problems because it's a small community similar to Dumont. And everybody was within 1,000 feet of the school. So that's something that you really need to look at. And again, I would suggest that you speak to the borough administrator, and we need a policy as to how you call an attorney. I understand you call attorneys. You need to. Only a fool would not call an attorney. But to have people working on their own in subcommittees, contacting attorneys, meeting with attorneys, to me is not the way you run your business. And again, I respect your chair. I respect you as an individual. From what I've seen since you've been mayor, you've been above board. You've been honest. You shake your head at the right times. You listen. And I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But again, the attorney, he said he knew nothing about this from last year. He also deserves respect. And this will come out in the wash. It always does. And you have people who are very willing to share information and ask questions. And my schedule has changed. I can be at most of your meetings now. And I am not looking for trouble. I'm not asking for trouble. I want a well-run town. That's all I want. I've lived here since 1984. So again, consider what I said. Now, I also have a couple of questions. On Resolution 25-139, to hire Attorney Mondello, it cited a proposal he submitted the day after his March municipal cannabis presentation. The resolution cites an attached proposal, yet I did not see it online. Can this proposal be made available to the public, or do I need to Oprah it? Now, if you look on the resolution, which I received from the borough administrator, it's in the third whereas. It says, Ronald A. Mundell has submitted a proposal for this work dated March 12, 2025, a copy of which is attached here too. And so obviously when the resolution was passed, it's public record. It should have been attached to the resolution because it says it right in the resolution. So I don't know how, outside of human error, why this wasn't done. And again, when Janine gets the motion the day of the meeting or even after the meeting and doesn't have time to frame it, ask questions, I understand that a borough administrator has a different thought process. He or she has to protect the borough or the township or whatever you're calling yourself, and there are procedures, there's practices, and there's ways to do things appropriately. She doesn't want to be sitting in a chair and getting hammered, nor do you, nor do any of you. And again, I really think you have to rethink your process and the gamesmanship that there's one ordinance committee. It's interesting that the three people on the ordinance committee, they're the only people who knew anything about this. And there's what, 7 people on the council. And you got a borough administrator, you have an attorney. So shame on those people. They dropped the ball and they kicked you people in the rear end. I hate to say it that way. The final comment I have on Ordinance 1654, I'd like to thank Janine for explaining that. I picked that up when I read it. It makes sense to share with the public that you're hiring somebody at a full-time salary or a part-time salary, but a salary, and it makes sense as to why you have the ordinance change. Thank you.
I just want to make a couple general comments, and not, some of it might be in direct response to what you said, but just so you're aware, and you may be aware, but the town cannot incur legal fees from a lawyer unless the lawyer has been passed as a resolution as a special counsel or borough attorney or labor attorney, whatever it may be. So if a council person is speaking to some attorney for whatever reason, the town doesn't incur a charge unless that attorney's been approved by the town and passed. So, I don't know specifics of who talked to who, but the town can't just get a bill from a lawyer without that lawyer having been passed by a resolution at a public meeting.
Okay, well, the attorney Mondello, you passed this as a resolution, and my suggestion and statement is Don Morell shouldn't be calling this person. Labriera, if that's how he pronounces his name, he should not be calling this attorney. You should be doing it. The mayor should be doing it. The borough administrator should be doing it. I understand that. If somebody goes off on their own and does something and is an unapproved attorney, great. But this is an approved attorney.
From the day forward, yes. So
that takes care of your argument.
yeah, no, I just wanted it to be clear that. But from the day forward, up to $9,000, yes.
All right, but again, that doesn't address my point. My point is indiscriminate calls should not be made to an approved attorney or an unapproved attorney or a potentially approved attorney or a potentially unapproved attorney. I worked with hundreds of board members, and I would go up and down their back if they were to call the attorney. And the attorney was under explicit expectations as to who could call. And it was always the board president, the school business administrator, the attorney, or myself. It wasn't one of my 9 Board of Education members. Thank you.
palm oil. Tom, I appreciate you answering about the November referendum. It would be less cost. I think that would probably be a great idea. Yeah. And as far as like not being able to pay an attorney, I think an attorney would just pad his next bill. I mean, if he knows he has a fish on the line, you know, he's got a live one, he can wait to get paid. He's going to get paid, right? Apparently he's going to get paid. And you should have been here. And I wonder if it would have happened if you were here. How do you feel about what happened last meeting?
I can't get into policy sides. I can only get into the legal end. And so if there's a specific, legal question, I can answer, but I can't get into policy.
I'm saying the behavior that happened here. I'm sure, your colleague or whoever stood in for you last meeting said nothing
So
at all.
it wasn't a colleague, it was somebody from the labor attorney's office. Originally, the plan was gonna be that I was gonna call into the meeting, and then and I was willing to do that. At some point, the plan changed to have him here.
So he's our current labor attorney?
He works for the office of our current labor attorney,
And
yes.
how did he come to attend this meeting?
I can't answer that, I don't know.
Okay.
So Mary, we made a decision to have an in-person attorney present at the meeting. We felt it was better for the borough to have somebody here in person. Because Jared.
I hope he was effective. I don't know, he didn't look like he had, I saw him looking around the screen, but I didn't hear peep, not a one. And I'm just wondering how something of this magnitude can get just shoved through without even a formal reading. I think everybody just got so caught up in the what the hell is happening that it got passed. And apparently there's some misunderstanding of exactly what this ordinance, you're telling us that it's just for the creation of this ordinance to best serve Dumont as we go forward, or if we try to go forward with this dispensary.
So no ordinance was passed, a resolution was passed.
All right.
Authorizing up to $9,000 to be spent on hiring the attorney.
Right, but we're hearing the purpose of this attorney is to advise and educate and so on, and then we're hearing that this was just about crafting the ordinance.
Yeah, so I have not had direct communication with the attorney.
Did you see what was passed? Did you
I-
get a chance to look at it?
In fact, so I was at an ordinance committee meeting this year, not last year, but this year, where it was discussed. And I actually prepared a draft resolution at the ordinance committee's request. That draft resolution was provided to the ordinance committee. I believe it was a form of that draft resolution that was brought in, that was passed.
Oh, maybe
And
that
so
was the confusion of which one
there
to
were
read or
There were some
not.
blanks to fill in. I prepared a draft. When the ordinance committee, I was away, when the ordinance committee, when it got closer to the meeting, when it was requested to have a copy of that, I believe it was earlier, either the day before or earlier in the day of the meeting, I then did email the mayor and the borough administrator the draft form, but it was probably 4 or 5 hours before the meeting, somewhere in that range. That's when I started getting phone calls about it. So I did forward it ahead of the meeting, but it was the day of the meeting, because that's when I was getting some requests regarding the draft ordinance. But I was involved in preparing a draft ordinance at a ordinance committee meeting when it was asked of me to do that, and then.
So you had no idea that this was going to be presented?
I was getting phone calls questions about it possibly being presented, or could it be presented, and procedure questions about it leading up to the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see what else. And I heard that there is a tax reduction, or that they're increasing the taxes on cannabis in 2025 in dispensaries, so wouldn't that even lessen our potential income from it even more? They lowering or increasing the tax rate?
I had mentioned last time, I don't know if it's been passed. The state budget, was projected to, increase the tax on cannabis sales, I think 500%. I don't know if that's
500%.
where it landed. I don't know if that's been voted on yet. So,
Okay. All right. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Hi, John Struble. I have a question for you. Okay, for the bond, the truck that we use for the liquid before the snowstorms is broken, correct, Tom? Or wasn't working, or I talked to you about it?
it's an attachment that goes on a vehicle. And
Are we getting it fixed, or we,
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't think we've used the brine machine, like for brine for the
Right,
roads.
yeah.
I don't think we've brined our roads since
We
I've
did,
been in the
like,
borough.
2 years ago or so?
It's
been
a
a
number of
while.
years ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
And I think the machine that we had, it was an attachment that we got from another borough. We didn't even purchase it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure, I'll ask DPW, but I'm pretty sure we haven't done it in quite some time.
Because if it's correct that it's broken, is part of this bond money gonna go to replace it, to fix it, to, what?
So there was no request by the DPW for that on the 5-year plan.
Okay.
And certainly not any type of priority that they indicated in the finance meetings.
Okay. They're saying replacement for equipment, are we talking fire trucks? Or, what equipment and,
Turnout gear. There was turnout gear for the fire department. There was some apparatus equipment for the DPW, information technology, automotive vehicles, I think tied into the police department.
okay. All right. I just wanna know, like what vehicles we're getting, are we selling them, are we junking them, are we fixing them?
The police, it was two patrol vehicles.
Okay.
Any of the older vehicles, sometimes they're used as spare vehicles, and I know that they, not too long ago, retired.
Right.
And actually, some of them went to the junkyard
Yeah.
rather than, because they can be offered up for public auction only, they can't be sold privately or anything like that. Some of them were determined to not have enough value even to go out to auction, so
Okay.
they were, disposed of. The DPW is gonna get a sewer jet truck. That's the truck where they use to clean the sewer lines when there's backups.
We
It's-
have one, right?
There's one, this would replace that one.
Okay.
It's an aging vehicle, and they've had a number of issues with it. It's, obviously, it's a really important, item for them to have. There's also, this is an automatic tarp for a roll-off truck, a zero-turn lawnmower, and a Ford F-350 Super Duty pickup truck, so.
Who's getting the super?
That's, it'll be
Who's
one of the
getting the big
DPW
pickup?
road trucks.
It's DPW, and they're actually repurposing one of their vehicles to our buildings and grounds person, Tony, because his truck is really not suitable to be driving on the road anymore.
Okay. Who does the repairs on, like, the police cars and oil changes and, does all the DPW mechanics work on all the vehicles
Yes.
Yeah,
for the borough?
yeah, they work on all the borough vehicles. They also work on school board vehicles. They have an agreement with the school system.
Okay,
And any fleet, like repairs that have to go back to the manufacturer,
Alright.
they go back to whatever manufacturer they're from.
okay. Rumor, I know you don't listen to it, but I haven't seen anything, and I asked a question about Dumont Swim Club. Is it opening this year or not opening? And if not, where are the rec kids going? You know, I know they look forward
There's
to
a
that.
closed session item regarding the swim club that we haven't got to yet. It's one of the things we have to go back into closed to discuss. So probably at the next meeting, there's an update we can share. But it is something the borough has to discuss in closed session regarding a lease and negotiations and issues along those lines. And the borough does not have the authority to determine if the swim club's opening, but the borough does have some role in certain issues with the swim club, but it's a closed session item that'll be discussed later tonight.
Do we own that property Dumont Swim Club's on, correct?
Correct, and we lease it to the swim club.
Okay, all right. All right. Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nope. Any comments from the council? All right, so we need a motion to return to closed session. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good night, everybody. God bless.